Men will stop at nothing.
I'd rather die than lose, I think.
You can't trust women.
Women can get away with everything, I think, in life, just by smiling.
Men and women can't get along.
I don't feel Craig understands me hardly at all.
Are we different species? 5 men, 5 women.
I found it really, really difficult.
Men have no empathy.
The world's biggest sex survey. Secret experiments.
Yeah.
And in a world first, brain-changing drugs.
It's totally changed my life.
All right, mate. How you doing?
Prepare to discover what really separates the sexes. We've invited 5 women and 5 men to take part in a series of unique tests.
Good morning. Good morning. Could you tell me your name, please?
Yes, Jamie Hannah.
Our test group has been chosen to represent as broad a range of people as possible.
And what's your occupation?
I'm a houseboy.
Investment banker.
Engineer.
Teaching assistant.
And how many sexual partners have you had?
3.
I can count on both hands.
God, I can't answer that.
A number, less than my wife, I think.
The volunteers know they're taking part in a programme about the differences between men and women.
We need to take a saliva sample.
What they don't know is that by the end of the programme, some of them will have totally changed their view of who they really are. First, they need to complete the BBC's online sex survey. They'll be tested on everything from language to love, geometry to greed.
On your laptop computers, there are a series of programs that assess a whole range of traits and abilities. What we want to see is how the brains of men and women differ.
Professor Richard Lipper and his colleagues designed the survey for us. And since it went online, nearly 500,000 people worldwide have taken part.
This is the single largest gender survey that's ever been conducted. We've never been able to assess such a variety of people in so many different areas.
What we want to know is how different our men and women are, and how they measure up to the nation.
I'd rather die than lose, I think.
I'm more interested in engineering than I am in people.
I'm a fighter. I think that's a masculine quality that I definitely have.
I'm a man in a traditionally female role.
I like to say how I feel. If that gets me into trouble, so be it. But that's me.
He sees me a bit like a Rottweiler or something.
And I always wear something that's quite low cut and quite, you know.
In my job, we deal with hundreds of millions of pounds. They're just numbers on screen. They're just zeros.
I wouldn't really say I was a girly girl at all.
We'll be testing our volunteers whatever they do. Even the cab they arrived in was rigged with hidden cameras.
Hello, mate. All right,
how you doing?
And driven by an actor.
BBC, eh?
Oh, a load of bollocks.
Is it? What's going on?
They're doing a science programme, difference between men and women.
The way they think, the way we think differently, yeah?
Yeah. As in, men do, women don't, you know.
I love documentaries. There's so much rubbish on them.
The actor makes sure that all of our passengers hear the same conversation.
Well, they were saying that the square mile down here, if it was an independent country, it would be the 20th richest in the world.
Yeah.
That's what they were saying.
Amazing.
Well, you think after 29 years of marriage you know someone pretty well, wouldn't you?
You would do, wouldn't you?
Not me, she just run off from another bloke.
It's like I'm single. I think that's why I'm on the show. I just fucking party my ass off around the world.
I just can't believe I was that stupid.
But will the men and women remember different bits of what they've heard?
Can the next person come in, please?
Psychiatrist Dr. Sandra Scott springs a surprise interrogation.
What kind of car did you come here in?
It was a silver Mercedes.
Anything else?
Silver, leather seats, GPS system on the dashboard.
Is that it?
Well, I noticed the central locking switch had a chrome handle for opening the door for the central locking.
Did you talk to the cab driver?
Yeah, we talked about the sort of financial centre of London.
Yeah, they were going on about the Square Mile, which is, you might have heard of it, just down here. It's where all the banks are in London.
Yeah.
They reckon that if it was an independent country, it'd be the 20th richest in the world. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Can you recall 3 facts, or possibly more, of what he told you about the City of London?
I can't remember. No.
Do you remember him talking about his marriage?
Yes, I do, yeah.
So that was another topic covered?
It was, yeah. The car was automatic, by the way.
Sorry?
The car was automatic, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, it had a walnut trim.
So were you actually listening to him?
Yes, connecting, but rather than wishing to store information, so...
What did interest you?
Talking about his marriage problems, he was really quite open, which quite surprised me, really, because men are quite normally hide their feelings, but he was quite forthcoming.
You know, he's glad that the kids are older and they've moved out, but it just means that he's alone now, really.
And he said if it had been the other way round, she would have found out really early on, you know, sort of woman's instinct and all that.
How did you catch her out? You didn't find her come home early, did you? That'd be awful.
Generally speaking, all of the women had a much better memory for the emotional facts.
Men were more thing-oriented, and women were more people-oriented.
Women like relationships, men like facts. But according to Italian scientists, it's not quite so simple.
OK, guys, take a seat, make yourselves comfortable. We're just going to get you to watch a few minutes of TV.
If the Italians are right, you're about to witness something very revealing.
A high street bank has warned that the number of new buyers has plunged to its lowest level for 20 years. The problem of...
When we asked our viewers what they'd seen and heard, we discovered an extraordinary thing.
When 24-hour drinking becomes legal in England and Wales later this year...
The men remembered some of what our male newsreader had said.
Licences had been applied for, 6 from London, none from other places.
If they didn't curb it within 8 weeks, they were going to receive a fine.
Scientists are warning that a recent outbreak of bird...
But when they were watching his female colleague, they appeared to have gone deaf.
The SARS outbreak in 2002...
She did 2 stories.
She was quite attractive for a start.
The girl had a pink top with black trim. That's about all I can remember.
And she had nice breasts.
We found that men are indeed interested in facts. But one thing they're more interested in is sex. Which stands to reason. Men are, after all, much more promiscuous than women. Aren't they?
How many partners have you had sexual intercourse with in the past 5 years?
How old were you when you lost your virginity?
We sent our researchers to find out just how much more promiscuous men really are. Our street survey found that on average, men reported 13 sexual partners, while women only managed 7, in line with other sex surveys. But hold on, who are all the men sleeping with?
And the survey is about sexual behaviours and attitudes.
The trouble with asking personal questions face to face is that you rarely get honest answers.
How many sexual partners have you had?
25 or something like that, 20, 25.
I can count on both hands.
You can...
So 10.
10.
Either men are exaggerating, or women are being economical with the truth. To find out what's going on, we asked our volunteers to take a lie detector test.
I'm going to put one around your stomach, and I'm going to put one around your chest. I'm just going to take a reading from one of them. Try breathe normally without taking any deep breaths or holding your breath.
Okay.
Try not to nod or shake your head. Just say yes and no.
I am the owner of a financial and accounting recruitment firm. I'm very money driven. I want to have nice holidays, you know, I want to get my convertible sports car. And in the next 6 months, they're my goals. So I'm going to achieve them. I'm going to make sure it happens.
All right, I'm about to start the test.
Okay.
What I want to hear from you is a yes or a no.
Okay.
Is your first name Lucy?
Yes.
Have you had around 10 sexual partners in your lifetime?
No.
Have you had more than 10 sexual partners in your lifetime?
Yes. I have had more sexual partners than I'm admitted to. You know the reasons as to probably why I didn't want to sort of announce it, but yes, I have.
Well, what are the reasons?
Well, I think the main reasons is sort of, you know, the reputation side of it. You know, I want to attract a nice man. I think the man out there is still old-fashioned in his views and points. I think that, you know, he still likes a very sort of feminine type of girl who, and the thought of him, I've slept with a lot of men, you know, disgust him.
When they filled in our anonymous online survey, men and women did admit to having the same numbers of sexual partners. And what's more, nearly a quarter of both sexes admitted to having been unfaithful to a long-term partner. We also found that whatever their past experience, men predicted more than twice as many sexual partners in the future than women did. So even though men are distracted by the idea of sex, they aren't more promiscuous than women after all. It's just that they'd like to be. So, one